Ladies and gentlemen, gather round, gather round. Okay? Today we are going to dive into the strange little corner of history where logic took a nap and death got creative. Dark? Well, maybe. Inappropriate? Absolutely. Funny? You bet your carrot. You bet your flipping carrot it is. Now, so let's talk about the funny deaths in history. Funniest ones. I don't know what I was thinking when I started, looking these up. I was thinking maybe of the best way to die. So the first one is the name that I cannot really pronounce. Chrysippus. He was a philosopher. Now, these are the olden days, that the 3rd century BC. He was an ancient Greek philosopher. I don't know what philosopher is. Ancient Greek philosopher. Now, I want you to think sandals. I want you to think all the wine. Those robes that kind of look like toga, but not quite. Yeah. And then, to top it off, our guy here was a brainiac. So how did he die? He died of laughter. What was he laughing at? Hello, my friend. He was laughing at a donkey. So, okay, this guy, a Greek philosopher, was watching a donkey eat his figs. And he found it very funny, so he was laughing the whole time. Then, after laughing while this donkey is eating the figs, our philosopher asks his slave to feed the donkey some wine, for the donkey to wash the figs down, eh? And he laughed somewhere and he couldn't stop, so he just killed himself with laughter. Yeah, that is the best way to go out, man. He was just really happy. He was I would love to die of laughter. No, it's a donkey, but something. That is a good way to it. Now, the second one is interesting too, because you think that death changes anything where enemies are concerned? Oh no, the last one is king. Now, there's this person called Sigurd the Mighty. He was a Viking. Apparently, it turns out he defeated a Scottish enemy, decapitated him, and tied the head to his saddle. Like a trophy, like something you do after conquering a person or a thing or a place, like your spoils. But while riding, the dead man's teeth grazed Sigurd's leg, causing a fatal, say it with me, a fatal infection. So the enemy still won in the grand scheme of things, and from the grave at that. That is a bad way. That is a bad way to end. That is a bad way to die after you won a war, defeated someone, and then their corpse literally just kills you. It's an interesting way to die, but I don't want to die like that. I don't want to die like that. But there's no wars that I need to go on a horse. Anyway, here comes our man. This was the most hilarious of all. Because I know there's some people who want to believe that they can, rear their beard to these lengths and, be very majestic about it. So this guy was called Hans. I cannot pronounce his last name for the life of me. He was killed by his own beard. The year was 1567. Our Australian man here had a 4.5-foot beard. This is the stuff of the wizards. This is Harry Potter. Dang, this is like, yeah. Okay, now, he used to keep it rolled up very well and neat and everything. But one day he didn't, and then there was a fire. So while trying to flee from the fire, he tripped on it and broke his neck, and then, he was bye-bye. He was gone. That is interesting. We say often, like, hosted by your own petard. This is exactly that. This is your petard, and this is you being hoisted by it. This is interesting. What was I thinking while I was googling this? Anyway, let's go to the next one, because again, it could be more interesting than the last one.